Alright guys, Wes here, welcome back to the channel, and we are about 2 weeks away from playing Starfield, which is incredibly exciting. But for those of you that are waiting on news for Starfield, Bethesda just revealed a ton of huge details for the game's backstory that will surely get all of you lore fans like myself pretty hyped. Now along with that, we have some news that Microsoft is holding an interactive launch event for Starfield, as well as a leak regarding review codes, as well as some comments from a playtester allegedly, and so much more. The next 2 weeks are about to be insane, so get ready guys. Also, if you'd like to win a copy of Starfield, I'm giving one away, so if you'd like to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, tweet me proof that you're subscribed, and I'll announce the winner in my next Starfield video. Check the video chapters to optimize your viewing experience, and let's get started. So if you're someone like me and you love the lore in video games, specifically Bethesda video games, then this part of the video will bring your hype levels through the stratosphere. According to a new update to the Bethesda website, we have some backstory regarding the story so far of the game, and man does this get me really excited to play the game, but it also kind of depresses me that we're not going to live long enough to see an actual settled systems in a galaxy far, far away. So the year is 2050 and humans first arrive on Mars. By the year 2100, humans are officially living in space. And then fast forward to the year 2156, humans arrive in Alpha Centauri, the galaxy that is the closest to Earth, that's about 4.37 light years away. About 3 years after that, the United Colonies are officially established. By 2160, New Atlantis is founded and becomes the official capital city of the United Colonies in 2161. In 2167, Cheyenne is settled by Solomon Coe, who founds its first settlement, Aquila City. In 2188, Sam Coe invites Voli to join Cheyenne in a new alliance called the Free Star Collective. The Free Star Collective is officially formed in 2189. In the year 2194, the United Colonies positions the star station called the Clinic in orbit around Deepala in the Narian system. The unaffiliated peoples of the Narian system see this as a UC attempt to expand their borders and demand the UC remove the Clinic. When the United Colonies refuse, the people of Narian vote to join the Free Star Collective, who mobilize to protect the system in 2195. Now in the year 2196, in response to the Free Star Collective mobilization, the UC moves a fleet into the Narian system, and the Free Star Collective responds in kind. Thus begins the start of the Narian War. In the year 2216, the Narian War drags on as public sentiment sours. Finally, the Treaty of Narion is signed by the UC and Free Star Collective in 2216, ending that conflict. The term settled systems is formalized in the treaty. Fast forward into the year 2221, the Free Star Rangers are founded as an elite protective and investigative force dedicated to serving all citizens of the Free Star Collective. In the year 2275, Constellation is formed by Sebastian Banks. Original members include Chloe Bao, Asia Mamasa, the youngest member, and Sebastian's protege, Darius Andrus, a botanist and specialist in xenoflora, Bernadette Laurent, a wealthy heiress and adventurer, Everardo Gil, a former smuggler, and Kadri Toma, a biologist and physician. The lodge is built in New Atlantis to serve the needs and people of Constellation for generations to come. Fast forward to the year 2305, Barrett joins Constellation, and then fast forward 2 years, the Free Star Collective begins farming on the planet Avesta, located in the Lunara system. By the year 2308, the United Colonies claims that by establishing a colony in a fourth star system, the Free Star Collective has violated the Treaty of Narion, to which the diplomatic talks break down and the UC lays siege to Vesta, killing anyone who stayed behind or who was brought in to defend it. Thus, the colony war officially begins. In the year 2310, Constellation comes into possession of their first artifact and tucks it away in the Constellation archives. In 2311, after years of conflict, the colony war effectively comes to an end, with the Battle of Cheyenne as a flotilla of civilian and military Free Star Collective ships takes down the major ships of the UC Navy using hit and run tactics. 4 years after that, in the year 2315, the UC Vanguard is founded as a part of the United Colonies' response to the Free Star Collective's use of civilian ships during the Colony War. The Vanguard is the United Colonies' own civilian navy, relying on civilians using their own ships, who pledge to protect the United Colonies and its interests. The ultimate reward for this service is citizenship in the United Colonies. We of course already know this information because in the Supra et Ultra video, it portrayed Kent, who joined the UC Vanguard, which granted him citizenship in the United Colonies. Now by the year 2319, Sarah Morgan becomes the youngest head of the United Colonies Navigator Corps, though it's a short-lived position as the division is shut down in 2320. Cast adrift but still eager to put her training to good use, Morgan joins Constellation. Fast forward to 2321, Walter Stroud, co-owner of Stroud Eklund, one of the settled system's premier starship manufacturers, joins Constellation and becomes its primary financial backer. By the year 2322, former Crimson Fleet pirate Vladimir Sau Val joins Constellation. In 2325, Sarah Morgan becomes acting chair of Constellation. In that same year, theologian Matteo Catri joins Constellation. In the year 2326, Barrett finds the original artifact in the Constellation archives and know it must be special. After months of correspondence with Sarah Morgan, graduate student and gifted scientist Noelle is invited to join Constellation. A year after that, Freestar Ranger Sam Coe and his daughter Cora join Constellation as well. 1 year after that, in the year 2328, Andrea joins Constellation, who is rumored to be the fourth companion. So we have Barrett, we have Sam, we have Sarah Morgan, and now possibly Andrea. Later that same year, Barrett convinces Constellation to purchase Star Station L868 and modify it to become a deep space scanner nicknamed the Eye, which is this star station right here. We've seen it in basically every video. It was actually in the first ever teaser trailer. So now we finally know the significance of the Eye. It's very curious that it's a deep space scanner, but my question is, what is the Eye scanning for? Possibly a giant black hole, maybe a wormhole, maybe just another random anomaly in deep space. Now, about 2 years after that, in the year 2330 AD, Starfield begins. Now, for the next bit of news, according to Tom Henderson, review codes for Starfield will be going out later this week. So what does this mean? Well, basically it means the reviewers are going to have ample time to play through the entire game, or at least the main quest line, before the game goes live on September 1st, so that way consumers can make decisions based on those reviews, which I think is great news. Now, if you guys didn't know, later this week, developers will be holding a dev Q&A for Starfield that happens on August 16th. It'll be at 1 p.m. in the Bethesda Game Studios Discord. The developers involved in the dev Q&A will be Will Shin and Emil Pagliarulo, which should be a pretty spicy time. There's going to be a lot of details and news for Starfield in that Q&A, and I'll be covering it all on the channel, so definitely stick around. Since we know that it's Will and Emil that's going to be in the Q&A, I wouldn't expect anything groundbreaking to happen during it in terms of gameplay details, but we definitely will see some news regarding the story, which is really exciting, but more on that in my follow-up video. Now, one interesting take that I've been seeing about Starfield is Bethesda and Microsoft are not doing enough marketing for Starfield. They feel like we are just so close to launch that they're just not talking about it enough, and people just aren't getting slammed in the face with ads all the time for Starfield. But lucky for us, that is about to change, because according to Kareem Jovian, they just got word from a confidential source that Microsoft will be holding an interactive launch event for Starfield. They then said, let's just say they were really excited when talking to me about it, which obviously sounds exciting. Now, if you remember my last video, I featured a video from Kareem where it showed them in the Microsoft store that had a bunch of banners for Starfield, and I've been seeing a ton of reports that people have been getting ad rolled for Starfield on YouTube and Twitch and other places. So it sounds like the marketing campaigns are really kicking it into the next gear. So I'm sure we're all about to be inundated with a ton of advertisements. Moving right along to the next bit of news, we actually have some new leaks to some concept art and renders that will be featured in Starfield. So it sounds like a concept artist or just a designer kind of did an oopsie. Now, I don't really want to talk about their name, as I'm not trying to get them in trouble. I'm no snitch, but according to these leaks, we got a first look at the clothing in Starfield and an entirely new child character named Cora. Obviously, we know Cora from earlier in the video. So this is what Cora looks like right here. For the next image, we got another look at clothing that will be in Starfield. It's got a red and a gold outline. And here's the other outfit right here. And let me just say, this all looks incredible. Like, this looks so futuristic. The designer did an incredible job, and I hope they don't get into any trouble because they were deleted from the portfolio. But either way, the clothing is all 10 out of 10. But honestly, the biggest piece of news from all of this is the fact that there's going to be kids in the game, and the kids actually look like they're kids, not just adults shrunk down to a smaller body. And yes, that is a dig at every other RPG that releases. Now, one concern that I've been seeing a lot lately is that Starfield still could get delayed because the game has not publicly gone gold. This is despite the fact that the game is releasing within 2 weeks. Now, if you guys didn't know, Bethesda previously mentioned that the game has the fewest bugs that they've ever shipped in a game. But as we enter the final countdown, Bethesda's head of publishing, Pete Hines, responded to someone on Twitter and basically confirmed that despite the lack of the game going gold, Starfield will not be delayed any further. The user said this, and I quote, "That's cool, but we want to know when the game is going gold and when is the pre-download. We don't know about chairs. Cyberpunk did the same thing." To which Pete Hines responded, "Take a deep breath. I have an amazing team. We know what we're doing." Which honestly, I think that's clear and concise enough. That basically confirms that the game is not going to be delayed, despite there being concerns about that. Like, let's be honest, guys. I don't see a reality where Starfield gets delayed anytime soon. The game is coming out in 2 weeks. Todd Howard and Xbox would push the game back further if it wasn't in the right state, but only time will tell once the game releases. Speaking of that, I guess it's time to just keep on looking at the clock and waiting for the release, because we are getting very close, and I promise promise you, if I keep staring at the clock, time will move quicker. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do me a favor, like the video if you've enjoyed my Starfield coverage, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Be sure to turn your notifications on if you want to stay up to date with all of my latest uploads. Take advantage of the current Starfield giveaway that I'm doing, as well as my 130,000 subscriber PS5 giveaway. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.